Yeah. Got 24/6.
One more game. Episode 2.
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Testing. We in the building.
Yes, we are.
The Rock Boys in the building tonight.
You not from New York, bro.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, you from Philly.
Hold on, wait a minute. Y'all thought I was finished?
Yes, sir.
It's a long time for that.
Yeah, we was literally just talking about What's going on, everybody? Welcome to What's Brewing. I'm your host, Rob Bruin, locked in with my man, CEO and president of Courtside Wealth Partners. You know, this is a place where we talk all things NIL, pop culture, and everything in between. Today, we'll be diving into, Cam Moore and what he's been doing on the field that has pushed up his NIL rankings. And Cooper Flagg, is he going to be legit? And more importantly, Philly Financial Week.
Yes, sir.
It's coming up.
It's next week.
Details are more on the way.
Let's get it.
Let's go, baby. How you feeling?
Sir. I'm feeling good, bro. I'm blessed. As you know, I officially left the corporate space, and there's a lot of gratitude that's being given there. It's easy to get caught up and be nervous about that because that was my life for 10 years. Because once you in it and you come out of it, you like, oh, wow.
No safety net.
No safety net. The safety net is me getting up every day, doing what I need to do for my clients, building the right relationships, and continuing to press forward because life is going to throw its own set of curveballs at me, and it's not going to be, a perfect script on on what this all looks like. So moving into that chapter, and I'm looking forward to embracing it all.
Yeah.
And being able to, share that with people as they, think about making that type of transition as well, and what sort of led up to it. But I'm not about to vlog or get into,
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. We want to know.
It's nothing, but I don't want to be.
You got the people's attention right now.
But there's a lot of people out there that are already doing that type of content. I'm not looking to give you the entrepreneur content. Yeah, like that's not me.
Yeah,
like,
you getting your hands dirty right now.
I want to roll my sleeves. I want to lead with the work.
Yeah.
Not all of the, I know this is important. I want to do this. This is very important, but in a more thoughtful and strategic way. So.
Correct. Well, speaking of work, me and you have work that we're going to be doing consistently.
Yes. I mean, we locked in, y'all. So, What's Brewing and Courtside Media Partners is collaborating on a show. Because I feel like, and as I just mentioned, it's very important for me to be in front of the camera, giving people not just, my knowledge, but, showing up in their faces all the time. Like Tyler, the Creator, said something a little while ago about people and their brands, right? We'll put something out, we'll throw it up on our story, and then we'll leave it, and that'll be it. And, that'll. And I'm paraphrasing this because he said a little bit more, obviously, details than this. But he basically was saying that if this is your brand, you got to own that shit. You got to keep putting yourself in front of people. You got to keep, showing people what you're doing. Because at the end of the day, nobody not gonna market your stuff the way you are.
You're your best advocate.
It made sense. You have a media background, media and journalism. Don't let me put titles on that don't belong. And then me having finance background, I think the two it just made too much sense. As you know, I came to the idea. I was sitting on the pier in Santa Monica,
getting the good breeze.
Yeah, watching the waves, and I'm like, no, man, this made too much sense. The first episode was so fire, and I was like, I got more to talk about, and I know you want to curate that type of content, so it's time to tap all the way in, and we're gonna turn this shit up.
Yeah, I think it was real dope for us to tap in and really get into it because I've been having so many different ideas, and I feel like once I figured out like what your journey was, and we spoke earlier this year, like back in February, I'm gonna say.
Yeah, it was still cold out.
And we were supposed to circle back, but a few things happened. And I just felt like it was just time to make that move. And I feel like what you're saying with both of our skill sets, I think that when things fully come together, I think it'll be on some really some Avengers type shit.
I'm gonna let you know you said this to me when I called you about it. No, I sent you a voice note. And you was like, no, Nas, like I positioned that to you when we initially talked, and I was like replaying that back in my mind. I'm like, no, you didn't. I don't remember that part of the conversation.
No?
Nah, it was a different approach. We're going, Yeah. But it was a different approach, and I'm like, okay.
Was it?
Yeah, it was a little bit different. It might be that New York.
Talk to me. No, talk to me though.
It might be a New York.
Talk
thing.
to me.
Yeah.
No, let's talk.
You know what I mean? Like I didn't really hear that type of
bringing you in, welcoming.
I ain't hear that. So once I got to sit down, sometimes with me, it take me a little longer to process information and to allow me to really understand what was said to me. Because I'm a visionary. I got to see it before I could believe it. And so I had to see it.
Yeah.
And that's when I believed it.
So it's funny you say that. It could have been tone, and it could have been that we're still building, we're still growing in the relationship.
For sure.
But for me, what I knew when I started the content, I knew what my vision was. But in my mind, I always saw you, for me, as a resource, and I always wanted you to be a part of the show. I don't know if I fully explained that to you, but that's what I saw in my mind. But also, too, as well, I didn't want to overextend and make you put a lot of pressure on you, because I know with you starting everything, I didn't want you to feel like, damn, well, we just getting started. Now he trying to throw his whole show on my lap, and it feels like,
I think
what are we doing? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I had to make this a part.
Yeah.
Of like content, marketing, because there's a point like as an advisor running a firm, a wealth management firm, serving athletes at that, right? Where you're in the trenches, you got your sleeves rolled up, you're getting to work. But there is a time to work on the business. And I consider this working on the business, because it's a form of...
It's a form of marketing.
Yeah, and I know that I'm not going to... I know that, I want the type of marketing that I want out there, especially when it comes to me. I don't want it to be anything cookie cutter. And I'm not sitting here talking to people about backdoor Roth IRA conversions or any of that stuff, because... enough of that exists.
Yeah,
right? I'm not really.
You want to give them something different.
Yeah, I'm not. How am I differentiating myself as an advisor if I'm not able to talk about everything else besides the X's and O's of athletes, finances and investments. So,
along with that, it's just like the creative direction of like my mindset, what I see, and like when you were at the Ballroom CNBC, which we'll tap into next situation. I feel like you had that moment. You saw what it could look like as you were in position, having conversations. And I knew that my job was, when I put this first project together, that's for me, when I put it all together, I'm like, I want him to see the value. Mm-hmm. Right? And when it clicked, and when your feet was up and you were swinging by the water, it hit. You know what I mean? And that was the goal. So, no, I'm definitely glad we doubled down on that. But to switch gears a little bit, Cam Ward, man, he has been sensational, and I have to add, what a time to be a student at the University of Miami. His first 5 games, he's thrown over 300 passing yards, each 2 passing yards in each game. I know before this season started, they didn't have him in the Heisman conversation, and they didn't have him going at least in like the top 2 first rounds. And not to mention, obviously, his NIL draft stock has went up sensationally. Now he's clocking like around 934,000 according to one valuation. So like, how do you feel about that? What makes him a unique talent to you?
I think, here's what I'll say to that. And this is for all the athletes out there potentially listening, or people that are surrounded by these type of athletes. When you inorganically try to position yourself to garner more NIL attention and money, you lose. Because the way Cam has gotten here is by him authentically being himself.
1,000%.
And I think when people try to sway away from that because they're trying to capitalize off of the moment, right, you lose the marketability of the player. And so Cam, he has taken, what he has done is something real simple. Just play football.
Yeah.
He just played football. Because playing football has allowed him to play at the University of Miami and get the opportunity.
He was at Washington State last year and did all that transferring.
And he intentionally knew that, hey, what has gotten me to this point so far has been my ability to play football and
at
be
a high
myself.
Level. Yeah.
And at a high level for sure. But be myself. If you are not organically being who you are because you're chasing money, when we know that money should just be the byproduct of you as an athlete, then that means we could potentially be going about it the wrong way. But if you look at it the way Cam has done it, his NIL notoriety has grown because He has simply played football and just
keep the main thing the main thing.
Let the main thing be the main thing, and everything else will take care of itself.
Let me give you a little pushback on that.
Okay.
I feel like, or you tell me, don't you feel like it's going to be different in each situation depending upon personality?
It is.
Because you can tell he's very poised, calm, easygoing. Other side of that, Shedeur Sanders, which is number one, little bit more flamboyant.
But he got the name.
No,
He got a name. Not that Cam Ward doesn't.
That's comparing apples to oranges.
Yeah, because that's
you can't compare the two.
But no, you can't, because that's a Sanders. Yeah, that's a Sander, and that's a
Cam Ward is building generation. Start with him.
It starts with him.
Correct.
So Shedeur already walked into something that was already a brand. Mm-hmm. He just needed to be him. He needed to put on be himself.
Put on for that name.
But put on for that name he put on the back. You see, he got the L on the chest for a reason.
Leader. Yep.
You know what I mean? So I think with his situation, you got to give that a little bit more flair, because you got to live up to the Sander, that Sander last name that's on the back of that jersey. So his situation is a little different. But I'm talking about for Cam Ward, who most people didn't even know prior to the season, unless you are an avid college football follower. You didn't know about Cam Ward. So Cam Ward only got to this point because of everything he's done, which is, again, as simple as play. He just played football. And it got him here. And now that has given him the platform to take advantage of the opportunity. And he don't need to be anything but Cam Ward.
Yeah. So just to run a few things, his first deals with Canes Collections. He has some type
Canes Connection is the collective
down
at the University of Miami that pays the student athletes.
Okay.
Up until this point. That's obviously going to change in 2025.
Yes, we're going to talk about that in a second.
Because of the whole shifting of the way college athletes are now going to be paid by the universities. But yeah.
And he's a huge ambassador now for C4, the sports drink.
Yes.
They say the largest growing in the business right now.
I mean, that's what all startups say. That's what they should say. Their investors want to hear that, right?
Oh, with you on that.
So I don't know enough about them in terms of their numbers to say that. Only somebody that would, the founder or someone that is in position of or privy to the information will be able to speak to that. So that wasn't a shot at them.
I'm with you.
You know what I mean?
So let's go back to that breaking news that had dropped today.
Yeah. Let's talk about it. So today a judge ruled, they did a preliminary ruling on college football players. I'm sorry, not college football. College players, NCAA college athletes being able to be paid by the universities. So I believe the total dollar amount was somewhere between $2.5 to $3 billion that was settled in a lawsuit. And so what that basically has done is it has positioned athletes that played from 2016 on up, right? So the cutoff was 2016 to current day to be able to get paid for their name, image, and likeness. Now, what happens is say that again.
Somebody needs some money.
People want their reparations in the sport of college basketball. I mean, college sports. Excuse me, I keep relating to sports.
You love college basketball a lot.
I do. I love college basketball. It's embedded into my upbringing and how I was as a kid. But yeah, man. So basically, what's great to have this shit is great to be the Wild Wild West. It already was the Wild Wild West
because I'm coming to collect.
Because everybody in the bigger schools will have the opportunity to pool this money. So if you play, depending on the sport.
But where's this money coming from?
Well, it came from the lawsuit. They sued the NCAA. And so
I finally won.
Right. And now that money is going to be dispersed amongst the schools, but the top schools are going to have the most money to be able to pay those former athletes and current what they're rightfully owed.
I gotta get you pushback on that though. It's hard to put a dollar amount on the amount of money that they owe.
It is. That's a.
Right?
I wouldn't want to be trying to. I don't want to.
I wouldn't want to be the person that figures that out.
No.
So now they just opened up another layer
because that's relative. That's very relative because you may feel like they owed you.
I want $500,000.
I mean, I want $5 million, $10 million. But that's beside the point. Because see, that's what I mean though. It's relative. Yeah. You felt like they owed you $500,000. And I feel like I'm owed $5 to $10 million. And so that's the disparity. And now whether we got receipts to really show, like during that time, like when Zion Williamson was at Duke His jersey was the #1 selling jersey in all of college, college basketball. And this is how much money that Duke generated off his jersey
They owe that man some money.
And then how do we determine the revenue share of that particular jersey, those jersey sales that took place during his collegiate season? So, yeah, people want theirs. And I'm for everybody getting their money. Get your money.
So we talking 2016. We talking Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
Brandon Ingram.
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown.
That's that.
Buddy Hield.
Okay.
Jamal Murray.
They should have took Jaylen Brown that year, but that's another.
Nobody cares about the Sixers, bro.
You're right. I mean, shout out to the Spurs. No, you're right about that.
You funny as hell, bro. Shout out to your Spurs, man.
Shout out to the Spurs, man. We want to be put on like 25 to 30 pounds too, by the way.
Yeah, you want to talk about that?
I mean, it's not really to talk about. The season starting in a couple weeks, so people will see. That's what really matters.
Just want you to crawl before you walk.
Hey, man, I've been crawling since 2000, and I've been crawling since 2000. Our last playoff season where we had a winning record was, I think, 2018. That was like LaMarcus Aldridge last year with us, right before. No, we had DeMar DeRozan by that time. So, Kawhi got traded that summer, 2019, because that's when the Raptors won.
Yeah, I was trash.
So, nah, man, I'm looking forward to the season. As I said before, shout out to the Spurs because I'm a firm believer in everything. So,
with you just having a huge rollout within Courtside Wealth Partners, huge congrats to you on that.
Appreciate you.
Very, very, very proud of you. I know you feeling good. You popped a bottle or what?
I had a can't even get it out. I had a bottle of Dom.
What?
Dom Perignon.
Oh.
Yeah.
You and the lady?
I mean, no,
By
I
yourself?
was out Arizona. I was with me and the homies.
Okay.
Me and the lady, she took me to dinner and we had some champagne.
Like that. We
toast.
like women that have money.
Yeah, no, for sure. We went down.
Yeah, we do. Why you laughing? My man in the back, he love. You gotta have a good credit score, ladies.
Man,
good credit score if you want to deal with Rel Plush. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not mad at them.
We took it back.
Can't
Yeah.
have his standard. And shout out to Rel and Cuddy, man. They've been holding us down in the back.
No, Rel and Cuddy, them
saying?
guys.
I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that.
Very true.
I remember I said that though.
You're sick. So I want to know why the rollout in this specific time for your brand.
Yeah, man. So it was time, right? There were a lot of reasons why. There was no significant reason. Like, it wasn't like the month of September was significant to me or, the space that I work in. It was just, time. Like, I had already given notice that I was leaving and, I was preparing to launch a firm. Mm-hmm. And I had the full support of my previous manager, who I'm forever indebted to. He's a great guy. Learned a lot from him. I told him what my plan was and told him that this had been. See, most people think that Nas just up and became. You don't just up.
He just jumped out the window.
You don't do that.
Yeah.
This is a strategic
Smart
process
man.
that has taken place.
Intentional, man.
3 to 4 years has taken, and I didn't switch lanes. I'm in the same field.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, it was just the right time to make the motion happen. And there was clients that were ready to work with me that I didn't want to onboard at my previous employer, and I wanted to onboard them within my firm and have it be the way I wanted it to be. So, shout out to Courtside Wealth Partners. So if you are watching,
big shout out.
Courtside Wealth Partners is a full service financial planning and investment management firm that serve athletes and entrepreneurs alike. You can visit courtsidewealth.com, to learn more. I'm on every platform, Nasir Smith.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm doing all the plugging in now, but
Yeah.
I'm intentional, man, and I'm gonna tell you one thing. If you're not a client of Courtside Wealth Partners, you should be, and it's for everything besides the X's and O's. Like, what a lot of advisors can't do that I can do is care, because what we forgot, like, I work in the client service industry, obviously dealing with individuals, and so caring is not a strategy of like who I am. It's a part of the fabric that makes me Nasir Smith, right? The way I was raised, the way I carry myself, and so there's so many people that are in or serving athletes, as their financial advisor, they don't care. They don't show up for them in the ways that I do for my clients. They don't go to bat for them the way I do for my clients. And so if someone were to ask me, well, Nasir, what is the difference between you and, X firm over there? I'm not going to sit here and tell you what the returns were like for the clients that I currently have. I'm not going to tell you all of the X's and O's of, someone's financial picture in order to do that. I'm going to talk about me as a human being, my values, my character, how I've been able to conduct myself. And my name holds weight, bro. Like, believe it or not, there are spaces that I'm operating in, and I'm highly regarded. I actually got some feedback that I'm going to read. I like that. I'm going to read to you. And I'm gonna obviously keep the name of the individual out
confidential.
Of it. Because we don't violate client confidentiality at Courtside Wealth Partners. But I want you guys to understand something. So this is what I'm gonna read this, right? So it says, so great to speak to you yesterday. Blank, thank you for getting all of us on the call and connected. Nasir, such a pleasure to meet you. Again, just have to compliment you on how you are approaching this business. Even beyond your client, we'd love to support you however we can. It goes a long way for these guys to have someone like you in their corner. Looking forward to continuing the conversation. And so when I think about that, right, I got on this call and was talking about one of my clients with this particular entity, and these two women were raving about me as a financial advisor because they work with other advisors, that are, helping their clients sort of achieve some of the similar things. And they couldn't stop raving about me in terms of how I showed up for this particular client and the way I'm thinking about orchestrating their life outside of the game of the sport that they play, right? And, thinking about the long-term positioning of this particular player. So that's a review, and I saved it, and they want to send me business. That don't happen. It's the first time I met these people. That don't happen regularly. That is the difference between me and your advisor at Morgan Stanley. And no shade to Morgan Stanley, but I'm gonna tell you one thing: he can't do what I can do. And that's it.
What within that situation? What did you do that was unique or different that you believe that they saw was a difference in?
Just the way I go about it, man. Like the type of questions that I asked as it pertained to this particular deal.
Right.
The way I explain the setup of this individual's off the court business structure, right? Allowing myself to elaborate on how we are evaluating opportunities as they come to this particular client, because we're not chasing money. I just said that a couple minutes ago, right? Money is if you approach in the game, if you are in the business of, sports entertainment, right? Mm-hmm. The way you approach it is not by chasing money, but making sure that the opportunities that are in front of you align with you as an individual, your values, your character, right? Is it a brand that you want to put yourself behind? And allow money to be the byproduct of that, right? Doing good quality work with good quality people. Because what's happening in this whole NIL climate, and even in the NBA, right, off the court, so many of us are chasing money as the reason and the means behind why we want this particular deal. But Correct. We're going about it the entirely wrong way for that specific reason. So for me, it was less. I was in that meeting and I never. Of course, I'm a financial advisor, so I don't want to say that the money aspect wasn't a part of the conversation, but it did not come up. I never asked a question, and the woman said, "So are you going to?" You didn't ask what question? I didn't ask about how much are you paying? What is this opportunity paying? Didn't lead with that. Didn't ask that question. At the end, why didn't the amount matter? Because I wanted to make sure the opportunity was right for my client. Okay. And if the opportunity wasn't right, it don't matter if they was paying $100 million or $100,000. If the opportunity didn't align with my client, there was never going to be a conversation. Yeah. Now, at the end of the conversation, we got into what conversation structure looked like, because obviously that's very vitally important for my client. And so they admired that, because most advisors are going into that meeting and the first thing money off top is money off the top, because that's how the money they can get from them that situation trickles down into them. It trickles down into them. Correct. I'm not worried about that. I'm gonna be taken care of because I'm doing
the right thing.
But guess what? It don't cost nothing to care. And I care. It's not a strategy of mine. It's not a strategy.
I don't know. I kind of feel like when you hear somebody in your space say that, especially within athletes, it's tough to believe it's authentic.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's like, you're telling me that you care, but I know you're going to get paid. Right? But in the same breath, it's like, I know you're being authentic after the relationship is being built and cultivated. And then they see how you're handling that business. It's like, oh, well, he really does care. You know what I mean? And then through that, the relationship continues to build. And then now it's just like,
I lead with the work. I tell all of my prospective athlete clients and my current clients, while we're building a relationship, I want to continue to earn your trust, right? I'm not asking for you to give me 100% of your trust on day one, right?
that's impossible.
Correct. But what I am asking for is the opportunity to show you that I care for you. Because if you succeed, I'm going to succeed as a financial advisor because you're succeeding. But if your success is predicated on how much money you're about to get from a deal, that's not really, for me, that's not really creating success for the client. Because that might be bad money to earn. And if we're not evaluating it that way, then again, we're not doing what's in our client's best interest. And so for me, it is genuine. It is authentic, right? And I feel as though that each one of my clients can attest to the fact that they feel beyond everything else, they feel like they can relate. I relate to them. They can connect, because that's a big thing. A lot of the people that I serve,
They don't got nothing in common.
they don't got a lot of things in common with the advisors out there. Because I tell them first meeting, I'm from the inner cities of Philadelphia, man. So
I'm right from
there
where
is
you
not
from.
a scenario I haven't seen, right? I've seen both sides, right? And getting that experience that you can't buy. You can't buy the experience that, I lived at 21st.
That's how you grew up.
I lived at 21st in Susquehanna, man. I probably was, I was very poor. Let's just say that, right? And I come from an environment that if you knew the environments I came from, sitting here, 5-year-old Nasir is smiling like, yo, bro, you winning, man. Because those environments could have took me elsewhere, right? And so my clients feel like I can relate to them, like they can talk to me about things beyond the sport that they play in. And one of my clients recently shared, he's like, you know what I love about you, Nas? I can talk to you about anything in life, and our conversations are less about business and finances every time we talk. And that was important for me.
That's good.
Because if we don't got a relationship about,
Everything else don't matter.
Nothing else matters.
Yeah. I think that's really, really important too, because it's like, I think it's really important to be able to connect with the person.
Yeah.
And like you said, all of the business will follow after. We want to know, like, is there some clientele that you can tell us about personally that who you're dealing with right now?
So to not violate confidentiality, I can't mention that. What I will say is my clients play in the realm. They play college basketball. They play in the WNBA, and they play in NBA. Those are my clients right now. I don't have any NFL clients yet. I will. Another thing I want to mention about what you just said is the parents. Most advisors are jumping. They don't have relationships with the athlete, right? Because they're so busy trying to woo the parents or the people that are in position to help make the decision. But ultimately, although you may be the decision maker for this kid, if your kid doesn't feel that connection, that relatability, it don't matter how much you love me, because they're gonna say, nah, Dad, I don't really.
I'm not feeling him like that. I don't rock with him like that.
When they get to make the decision on when they get to decide actually for themselves who they want to work with, they kicking me to the curb the first chance they get, because I was the hire of Rob, not of the athlete. And so that's the next piece of it, So I'm organically picking the right clients that we are best for each other, because Courtside Wealth Partners is a firm that we're close to our clients, but we're partnering together as we put you on this track towards, building financial success in your life.
Philly Financial Week is coming up.
Yes, sir.
Huge salute to you on that.
Appreciate you, man.
You hosting that here, right? We're live on location at Rec Philly.
Shout out to Rec. Shout out to the team at Rec.
What can the people expect? What's going to be new about this one that you haven't had in the past years?
So, this is something else. This is where I differentiate myself, man. So right here in the city of Philadelphia. So 7 years ago to this to this day.
You know 7 the number of completion, right? I told you that.
You did tell me that. You
Good
did tell me
number.
that. I'm in the numbers too, so you did tell me that. Yeah. But 7 years ago, at that point, I was year 3, year 4 in finance, and I kept running home telling my folks like all this information I was learning at work and while going to school. And so eventually, I'd like had an aha moment, like, yo, I want to. If my family is not privy to this information, it's so many people who look like me who also are not privy to this information. And so I called my best friend and I said, yo, this is a female. And I said to her, I said, look, I want to teach financial education to underserved communities right here in Philly. And she loved the idea. And so I remember going to her house and I got the video on my phone. I was sitting in her living room, her mom's living room at the time. And we recorded the first video to announce what I was doing. And what ended up as an idea that stemmed from a church that I grew up in the middle of North Philly here, on the second floor, has now birthed into an organization, 501c3 nonprofit, that is geared towards financial education for schools and underserved communities across America. And so what a lot of other advisors don't do is they don't philanthropically give back because again, I had been caring way before caring.
Before you was getting,
You know what I mean? And so that's why I'm saying I authentically, care about people.
And also the work is aligning now.
It's aligning. Yeah. So I've been in that space. So we received a citation from the U.S. House of Representatives for this. We also, the first and the fourth year, we are honored here at Philadelphia City Council. So it's in the books here in Philly. It's right down the street here at City Hall. That the third week every year in October is Philly Financial Literacy Week. So for those of you who are out there listening, watching, Philly Financial Literacy Week is next week. It's on October the 18th. It's a one-day symposium. It's going to be here at Rec Philly, 901 Market Street. We're going to have resources that are going to be being given out, and then we're also going to have financial education workshops. Free to you, the community member, because we care, and that's how I've been rocking and rolling. So we've been making huge strides, man. We brought in Credit Bureau here to help people get the credit scores raised. We've had people get free estate plans and wills. You name it, we've done it, and I was doing that before financial education, because now financial literacy
is very trendy.
It's very trendy.
It is.
But I got the records to show that I'm a veteran in that space. I never did it for like the camera attention or any of that. I really organically cared, and there's so many people that authentically, I keep saying organically, but there's so many people that have been impacted by the work that my organization and I've been doing. So
how many people you expecting roughly?
This year we're going to be here in front of the house, so roughly about 100 people.
And it's through the week or it's one day?
So forgot that. Good question.
Yeah.
So it's a one-day symposium, but from the 15th, the 16th, and the 17th, we are in schools in and around the greater Philadelphia area. We partnered with Vanguard, who is deploying
Vanguard
volunteers. They're deploying volunteers to partner with us, and we're going out into schools and facilitating financial literacy programming for the students. That's also part of the week. So we've been doing it that way for a while. When we first started, we had a daily theme, but we recognized that people obviously have things going on every day, so they weren't able to get out to every event. But man, October the 18th starts at 1:30. Make sure you're here. You could visit Philly Financial. That's financial spelled with a PH. .org and register for your workshop, or you can check it out. Register for the symposium. And then you can go to Philly Eventbrite and look up Philly Financial Literacy Week as well. So,
yeah, we're gonna make sure that we put that in the details of the conversation as well too.
Appreciate that.
This is gonna look good in your book.
Ooh, the book.
Yeah,
the book. All
right, good audio book. I was talking to Rel Plus. She gonna write a book too for us very, very soon. But you got to give us like a audio book. You know what I mean? If you've been in the game for 10 years, we need, what's that, a decade?
That is a decade.
Calm decade.
It'd be 11 in December. 11 years. I was trying to find this video.
No, we gonna make sure the editor get that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely gonna do that. And just to switch gears a little bit, speaking about somebody that's been in the game for a while, Derrick Rose has finally retired.
Ooh, the Rose.
D Rose. Career 17.4 points per game, 3 rebounds per game, 5 assists. I mean, when I think about Derrick Rose, I'm thinking about an era where we got Russell Westbrook, young Russell Westbrook. Mm-hmm. We got John Wall. We have, who else is from that era? I feel like between those 3, I don't know who was faster. And Derrick Rose, I think, was so scary because of how calm he was. And recently he was just talking about how big of an ego he had. I didn't even know that his ego was real big because of just the way that he carried himself. So calm, so cool, collected.
That's just because he was an introvert.
No, for sure. But when you look at D-Rose, you can't even tell what D-Rose is thinking. Yeah. You know what he's going to do on the court, but in your mind, you're like, he's a really well-poised. He don't really say much. Killer.
I'm gonna say,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
what gave me so much profound respect for him, and this is an off-the-court thing.
Yeah.
In 2012, he signed. Adidas said, Rose he's the reigning MVP. He's the rookie of the year. We're not going to let him get to the negotiating table with any other brand out there. We're going to lock him up.
Adidas ran down on him.
We're going to lock him in for 14 more years. And what he did, which isn't public to a lot of people because people don't do their research, their due diligence and stuff. This dude employed his brother and a close friend of his.
And what they get every year
with the proceeds from Adidas, they got it's reported that they got anywhere between $200,000 to $300,000 a year annually as a salary to be consultants on his brand. Which is ill because you just said to your brother that instead of giving you $1 million and you're gonna have to keep coming back.
Yeah, stick with me.
I got you. I'm gonna put you in position
to win.
You're going to earn a salary, and this is what you're going to do, right? And it's not coming from me. It's coming from Adidas. So I just set you up. So what you're able to do with this money is put yourself on track to be successful, right? You can say that, because that's going to carry weight. I was a consultant for Adidas because you were, and that's where your check came from, right? And so that's my point to all of the family members, the contemporaries of these athletes out here. You have to figure out, and I said this before, you gotta figure out what your value cannot be, I just want to be around. Because being around,
it's not enough. You're gonna get cut.
What you gonna be around for? Yeah. Tyrese Maxey came out recently and said to keep his circle small.
Nice and small.
Because he want people that are around him for the right reasons, and he said in the video that these people are employed by him. So they have a role.
They're adding value, like we said last episode.
Like I said
adding
last episode.
Value.
You have to add value.
Correct.
Your value can't just be, I've known you for the last 15 years, so you are obligated to look out and put me on. No, I'm obligated as a friend, if you have value, to at least give you an opportunity to
show me what you could do.
Value.
Correct.
But my value is not pulling out my bank card and saying, yo, bro, here go $15 million. Go ahead. No.
Because you're going to blow that.
Bro. And I got to look out for, I'm
the breadwinner.
You getting $40 million a year. Yeah. I'm not seeing $40 million a year.
Correct. Let's start at that. You're grossing.
I'm grossing $40 million.
How much you got? 20?
After tax, let's just slash that in half because you're in the highest tax bracket.
Yep.
So now I got 20. What we forgot to mention is that the agent fee is tacked in,
yep.
Right? Then you after that, you got to factor in. I'm pretty sure you got a financial advisor of some sort. So you got that fee, right? You might have an attorney that you got on retainer. It depending on what level you are.
It's like, what do you have left?
So you got to sustain a lifestyle, and then you got people that are in your pocket. Yeah. So is it really a lot of money? But that's the key part of like thinking about. I say to a lot of my athlete clients that, especially those that come from humble beginnings, bro, you can't fall from the floor. You already here. So instead of because you increase your income, you don't need to increase your expenses. Let's keep living modestly, bro. You can have
That's
nice
a hard
car.
Conversation to have.
It's a hard conversation, but it's a real conversation because we keep what these NIL space is going to show us is that so many people. We're going to have how we had the episode, not the episode, we had the show Broke. We're going to have that for what's about to happen because in the NIL space, because a lot of people going to crash out fast, quick. They're going to crash out so fast and quick.
Because they're not doing the
because
right thing.
Because they chasing money and not what has led them to be in position. These kids have an opportunity at hand. And it's not all about maximizing my income and the money that I'm going to receive. It is about how do I continue to develop my game in whatever respective sport I play in. How do I continue to build the brand that I have? And how do I continue to assemble a team around me to help me figure this shit out?
Yeah.
Because if I don't, I'm going to crash out and burn real quick. And it's going to happen. We're going to have a Netflix special in 10 years that I am co-producing through this episode. That's going to call it Crash Outs of the NIL space because people are just...
They're losing it.
It's ludicrous. Yeah. It's ludicrous. So, sorry, they had to kind of like...
No.
It was like a parallel there that I had to
I'm with you. And I love that because also, too, like, we both heard Rich Paul say, like, I can't afford to fly private. I mean, we know that he's flown private, but, like, take your time with your money. Spread it out. Put your money in the right places. Yep. And we'll be able to maneuver this the right way.
I say this to all my athlete clients. We got to save and invest your money, period. Spending is not an option. Now, again, yes, you're going to spend. Yes, you're going to spend. But we need to be saving and investing your money. I mean, like a large percentage of it. Because we need to make sure that this money, no matter what the amount is, has the opportunity to live beyond you. Not just for you.
That's a different conversation.
That's a whole different conversation. Yeah. And some people are ready to have it.
They're not ready. Yeah, correct.
The people who are ready to have that conversation, I want to work with all day long. The people that want to fight against that, I can't win that battle. Because at the end of the day, it's your money. And as a financial advisor,
I'm going to tell you what to do.
I'm advising you.
Yeah. I'm not telling you what to do.
Exactly.
Correct.
Yeah.
When you think back, I was doing some research and I had looked back and I was interested to find out. You remember when they used to, in the All-Star game, play with their own jerseys? It's back in like 97, I think, to like 2001. Yeah. I want them to bring that back so bad.
Yeah.
Did you have a favorite throwback jersey? Or could you list your favorite ones? Because I want them to bring that back so bad. I think it's dope.
Throwback jersey?
Yeah.
I'm a big, I love like Orlando's.
Pinstripe?
Pinstripe.
Which one, the black one or the blue one?
The blue one.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
The ones that went with the pennies, they went with the black. They think it's black, white, and blue.
Blue, yeah.
Yeah, pennies.
Low cut ones, right?
Yeah. I like the Spurs.
I don't know how he played in those. Those are terrible. No disrespect them, but they were tough. Like it's tough walking around in those. Yeah. They're super low.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have any pairs of that. I would say Orlando, the Spurs. I mean, I'm biased. Houston.
Oh, which one?
With the Rocket.
Rocket. Oh, yeah, that's tough too.
That's a nasty one.
Yeah.
I'm trying the Grizzlies.
Took it right. Yeah. The turquoise joint.
The Vancouver.
That's like hard. Black one's hard.
Seattle.
Supersonics.
So
yes.
And it's only because it ain't in our face anymore. So yeah.
I'm trying to think. I'm not gonna lie, I'm biased, but the Celtics is legendary. For sure.
There's only but so much you could do with green.
You have one green. Anyway. Let me see. What else we got? What other jersey was hard? The Knicks jersey is always going to be classic. The Lakers jersey was solid. I like when the Lakers only used to wear gold. Lakers didn't wear white for a little minute. Gold was home for them.
I like the Minneapolis Lakers jersey.
The Minnesota jersey was hard when it had the
powder blue and the yellow.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Pacers jersey was tough too.
Yeah, Pacers.
Shout out J Rose.
That was a good one. That was
solid.
The Sixers throwback is tough.
Oh,
the AI joint.
The Sixers with the star one. The white. My favorite was the blue.
Yeah, the blue was crazy.
Yes.
That was crazy. They used to have a bunny dressed up in the blue joint a lot, and that was one of my favorite attires that he had on.
Quick hitter real quick. We were just literally talking about this on the way up here. We were saying Allen Iverson, because we were talking about Bronny as well too, and how Bronny, his weight went up a little bit over 200. AI was 6 foot, 165, 170 on a good day.
Yeah.
Super quick.
Best
to ever do it for me. Greatest all time.
That's why he had to stay. His weight had to stay down because he needed.
He needed to be able to move.
As you increase your weight, your agility kind of
goes down.
Yeah, because you carrying.
But his finesse was crazy.
you carrying more. You got more load that you carrying. You know what I mean?
I'm with you. So there's a lot of firepower coming into the ACC right now for college basketball. We got Cooper Flagg of Duke. We got Ian Jackson of North Carolina. Shout out to New York. And we got Jalil Bethea, young boy out in Miami.
Shout out to Philly.
Yeah, it is.
You just said New York, so I had to.
All right, relax. Let me, you know what I'm saying? But who do you see right now is going to really dominate in terms of ACC play right now? Because I think Cooper Flagg is, and we'll get into the next question, I think everybody has their eyes on him, but there's some firepower under him where I think people are not necessarily paying attention to within Ian Jackson and Jalil Bethea. And they could slightly, arguably be diamonds in the rough.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, shout out to NC State. They're actually the ACC defending champions. So we got to start there first.
DJ Burns, what?
Well, he's in he's in NBA. He's
Cleveland?
I don't know that
He was on a G League team.
he was, but I don't know if he.
Why didn't nobody pick him up?
I have no idea.
That's
Because he came out at one
crazy.
point and said that he wanted to play football. So that kind of probably messed
Did
with his
that jam
stock
him up? Yeah.
Because people were like, "Are you serious about football?
And he's
Basketball?"
big as hell.
It's a big dude. So shout out to them first. I got to give respect
Nice,
to fans,
though.
right? But when it comes to the ACC has the best incoming freshman class in the country.
Correct. I
No
agree.
question about it.
Yeah.
Because who we also forgot that is also at Duke is Isaiah Evans.
He been cooking number 3.
Correct. He's a wing.
Yeah.
They said his game is very similar to a Brandon Ingram. Was the player comp.
How tall is he?
He's like 6'9". He's a big
Is
dude.
he?
Yeah, he's a big dude. I got
Oh.
to see him play down at the McDonald's All-American game.
Oh, I didn't know he was 6'9".
Yeah, he could ball. He could ball.
Okay.
So they got
Him and Cooper? And
they got Proctor back. Yeah, they got the vet.
he needs to take a step up.
It's
time.
I mean, he's a veteran, so
It's time.
He'll take a. They got some footers. So the ACC
African guy too.
Yeah.
Super tall. I forgot his name. I don't want to butcher his name.
Kamalch.
I don't
I'm
want to butcher
probably
his
tearing that up right now.
Yeah.
But
get your head on that.
The ACC,
Amazing.
amazing. I think all the 3 of the players you just named
Yeah.
are going to have phenomenal seasons. Phenomenal seasons. I think they all bring something uniquely different to their teams.
Right.
And depending on if you're an NBA franchise, depending on what you are going to look for, you can't go wrong with picking any one of those 3. Because as much as hype is around Cooper Flagg, I will say that he still got to go play. Like, yeah, we saw him play in the Olympics.
It was cute.
But that was pickup.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And yeah, he held his own. I think the real test is, we're going to see him this season, how poised he is in those big games and how he's able to manage through the highs and lows of the season.
Yeah.
There's a lot of expectations riding on Duke right now. So we'll see if they're able to live up to the hype. North Carolina has a good squad down there as well.
Still got RJ Davis too.
Exactly. And then Miami has they have a solid team that Jalil's going to be fortunate to play with down there. So it's going to be interesting, man. I'm excited to see all 3 of them play. I'm most excited about all 3 of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can't sit here and say that, there is like one person I'm only excited to see. Now, obviously, I'm from Philly, so I'm going to be biased. I'm thrilled to see Jalil Bethea play.
I love that.
But, I can't. I'm excited to see all 3 of them, man. Honestly. Ian.
Spicy.
Real
Strong.
shifty.
Yeah.
And for his size,
Throw
man,
it.
the way he play above that rim is crazy.
He's 6'5".
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
6'4"?
that might be a little bit cap.
There.
I mean, it might be the hair. I also was, I'm not saying, like, I've been around him. Like, I was around him before.
Taller than you?
I'm 6'4". I don't know if he's taller than me.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to say he's shorter than me, but I'm not going to say he's taller than me.
Okay,
I just didn't.
that's fair.
I didn't see it.
All right, that's fair.
But can play. Jalil, we know he can shoot the leather of the basketball, 3-level scorer, can attack the basket, which is his most underrated skill is his ability to play above the rim. Most people have him labeled as just a shooter.
It's sneaky.
He will put a helmet on you. So, you know what I mean? Like, take it easy with like just the shooting capabilities.
In his social clip, we're gonna put a helmet on you.
I mean, he jumped over. What was that? At the McDonald's All-American.
He did. He jumped over him. He did.
He cleared 3-footers.
He did.
You know what I mean? And then Cooper Flagg is, he's a complete. He can do a little bit of everything, man. I'm excited to see the three of them play, man. Honestly.
I think Cooper's going to give college basketball, give Duke that push that they've been needing because they
need a little bit of
They do. They've been mid for the past couple of years, in my opinion. I mean, Coach Shai, he's doing his thing. Yeah. He's trying to take them to that next step. I think Ian, he's more like a slasher in my eyes, the way he gets into the paint. Not saying he's like a D-Wade, but he feels shifty like a young D-Wade. When he gets into the paint, he attacks, has the mid-range jump shot. And I'll be honest with you, the most impressive thing, like you just said, was with Jalil was just the bounce. Yeah. Like I see that he can shoot. It looked like he put a little bit of weight on. Yeah. Looked like he got stronger. Mm-hmm. But I seen a clip. He was going viral. I think he had a clip on Slam University. Went into the lane. Oh, spin move off the two. Yeah, off the two. Me and Sam talked about this the other day. I was trying to teach him the difference between a 2-foot jumper and a 1 foot. He played football. But the 2-foot jumper to me is super scary. Yeah. D Rose, 2-foot jumper. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So just to be able to see the way Jalil is able to attack the rim at that capacity is I'm excited.
2 feet dunks and jumping. Also,
John Morant, 2 feet.
They're injury preventing dunks.
Correct. Yeah. So going up with more explosive.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, when we look at Cooper Flagg stepping into this season, I want to know from your perspective who you believe is the last white American player, male player, that lived up to their hype, because he has a lot of pressure on him right now. Obviously, we're talking with him going into the league because obviously we believe he'll be in the draft. But who you believe is that last player?
I mean, I'm glad you said American because I was going to say Luka.
Oh, yeah, American.
I was going to say Luka.
Luka not from here. He's not from here.
But I personally believe, man, and lived up to the hype is
lived up to the hype.
It's sort of relative because I could throw JJ Redick in there because JJ he had a lot of hype around him, but he turned out to be a role player. But the hype, that's how good the NBA is, though.
Yeah, well, he just was a role player. Not disrespecting him because he was great.
But I don't think he plummeted. I just think that he was a star role player that played very well in college basketball.
Yeah, the competition went up.
For sure. The competition he didn't,
yeah, no.
But to answer your question in full, I haven't seen, and I wasn't even alive when Larry played, but I probably have to say Larry Bird, man. Yeah. I haven't seen it. And that's easy to say, too, because the NBA is like 80% black, dude. We don't get a lot of them.
No, that's why I was thinking about it as, like, you got the JJ Redicks, you got Tyler Hero. Yeah. White Chocolate, we got Jason Williams, but I don't know. Pete Maravich, obviously, from way back, but I don't know if...
Yeah, man. Because we're not just talking about good players that were white that came into the league.
No, we're talking about dominated.
Right, and also lived up to the hype from college.
I got to go with you on Larry Bird.
Yeah,
I'm staying with that, too.
And, I mean, you biased, but I get it.
No. All right. Yeah. All right, well. Thank you for checking in with me today. Appreciate you a lot. Philly Financial Week coming up.
Yes, sir.
Make sure y'all tap in. We're going to keep
18th.
all the details in the bio. You guys continue to share, like, and subscribe. We appreciate all the support that you guys been giving us so far. And until next time, love.
Peace.